Hello YouTube, it's me, Vdeogamer, and this is the How to Draw Video Game Characters tutorial. And today, I will be drawing Vaati, still not sure how to say it, but I'm going to be drawing this character, which was requested by a user named Queek505. Not quite sure how to say this because you didn't really specify it, unlike some other users, but I tried. You guys really come up with the strangest names sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to be drawing this character in full color and full detail, and I should probably go over your supplies right now. First, you're going to need a pencil with an eraser. You might want to sharpen it. Mechanical pencil if you want to do more detail, and I usually do more detail. For your paper source, you're going to need a sketchbook paper or copy paper. It just depends on how much money you have to spend on supplies. Colored pencils, which once again are just based upon how much money you have to spend on supplies. And I also like to throw in these Sharpie markers every once in a while. This one's going to be for the thinner lines on the drawing, and this one's going to be for the overall outline to make it seem more like the actual character design and such as the artist draw it. So, without further ado, let the drawing begin. Alright. I've got all my supplies ready, I've got my source drawing ready, and I'm going to start off this character with the eyes. Gotta make sure I pick the correct place to start off, and the eyes are just kinda ovalish, like this. The center of the eye there. I'll work on that later, but I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the other details of the head. And currently I'm only starting off with light sketch lines, because it helps to make it so that if you mess up, you can just erase it and continue without having a lot of marks on your paper. And the ear seems to come out at the exact place of the eye, just a straight line across. And now, using my mechanical pencil, I'm going to finish up the details of the head. Also darken some of the outlines a little bit. And the head's just about finished. I'll come back and work on that later, but right now I'm going to get to the body of the character. Then I'm going to choose where the waistline will begin. I'd say probably about here. And now I'm going to move on and do the legs real quick. Apparently, underneath the tunic, there are some very puffy pants. Draw those real quick. The feet come off just as almost stubs. I'm going to clean this up a little bit by getting rid of all my sketch lines. And so now really quickly before I move on, I'm going to decide my shading, even though the coloring won't come until later. But I'm going to decide that my light's coming from this direction, like foregroundish, and all the lighter portions are to this way, so you can decide the shading for the spears already. Okay, and now the next step in this is to take the fine point Sharpie and outline all the inner lines of the drawing. And now that I've got all the fine point Sharpie done on this drawing, I'm going to take the larger Sharpie and I'm going to go around the whole outline, not the actual lines inside the character, but just the general outline to give it that kind of flat character look, I guess. I don't know how they make it look like that, but that's just their character style, what it's known for. And now I'm going to color the drawing. For all the yellow here, I'm just going to lay down a nice pale yellow at first. Now I'm going to take a darker orangish color and do the shading. Take the gray to dull down the color a bit to match the drawing. Then I'll do all the red, which includes the eye. And then for the skin color, I guess Vaati or Vaati. I'm not sure how to say it. You guys should tell me in the comments, but the skin color is not really the normal color. It's more like a gray. So to add that in, you just go over it like this. And you're just going to use the same technique that you've been using for the shading. Just use that one color. And I'm going to take a color that matches most of the cloak, and I'm going to use that to color the cloak. Then for the darker colored cloak, I'm going to just color in darker on it. Then since this color doesn't exactly match the bluish color I'm looking for, I'm going to tint it with a blue. Just very lightly. And then to dull everything down, I'm going to use a gray. And then for the shading, just take that same dark gray you've been using to dull everything down. And here is my finished picture of Vaati. And with many of my request drawings, this was my first time drawing it, and I was not disappointed at all. I'm surprised at how graphic I was able to make it look. Like it was actually kind of designed on a computer with all the thick outlines and Sharpie and stuff. This almost makes me want to remake my Toon Link drawing that I did a while back. It wasn't my best. And that had even been my second time drawing it, but now that I know how to use Sharpies to make the outlines look better, I think I'm going to start doing that. I think I'm going to remake the Toon Link drawing. It's mostly your guys' choice. If you think I should remake the Toon Link drawing, leave me a comment below. Also, with your favorite character, and I might possibly throw it into a request someday. And one thing you should do, you simply should do, is subscribe to my channel, so that way you are notified whenever I upload a new video for this series, or even a different series if you like my videos in general. And you should check out the links that are about to appear. And whenever request submissions open up, you can just send me a personal message and I'll read it and possibly throw it into the request if it meets the submission date. More on that later if you subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching, and that's all I've got to say, so goodbye.
Subscribe.